So let me get this straight, just so I could clarify it. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico. But you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave. But yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride. Okay. That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Do better. So let me
Hello and welcome back, and thanks for choosing to hang out with your host, the Conservative Bird, and your co-host, me, Double D, and you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Hey, and before we get into everything, everybody, please make sure to hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe, and smash the notification. So we've been talking a lot about Governor Gavin Newsom, aka Gavin Two Scum, and everything that he's doing that he possibly can to ruin our utopia in America, the great state of, was once the great state of California.
It sure is a has-been, isn't it?
So it's gotten so bad that Trump literally had to send in the National Guards and the Marines. This is wild. This is on the brink of martial law.
I would think we're on the brink of civil war with California, too, unfortunately. I really hate having to say that, but it looks like they're about to erupt, man.
It's almost to the point that it's like, let's just give it to Mexico. Let them deal with it.
Yeah, you know what? They can have it. At least Southern California. Although I'm cool with just giving them the whole state, to be honest. You know what? If they really want it that bad and they want California and Mexico to be the same, then I mean it's already a third world nation. They might as well call it the Banana Republic of California.
Right, definitely. So now we got that word that a federal judge actually rules in favor of Trump finally. Right? It seems like they're doing everything they can, and they're making you think that they're in the right for doing this. Yet every time the federal court and Trump takes something to them, it wins in his favor. That's because they're lying, and they're literally just trying to stop him from doing anything they can, just out of pure hatred for him and no other reason.
It is probably the worst case of Trump derangement syndrome I've ever seen. I think it's even worse now than it was in the last term that Trump served. So I mean, dude, they're out of hand, Bird. They're losing it.
Do they need their own specific nut house?
What they need to do is just wrap a rubber room all the way around the entire state.
Oh,
the hell with build a wall. Let's build a rubber wall for California.
I guess so. So here, like I said, here we have the National Guards having to be called in, and the federal judge actually rules in Trump's favor because they know that this is going to get way out of hand. But let's check it out.
Let's do that. Let that clip
Thank
roll,
you, Bill.
Bird.
A federal judge rejecting an emergency request by Governor Gavin Newsom to... Thank you, Bill. A federal judge rejecting an emergency request by Governor Gavin Newsom to limit President Trump's National Guard deployment to L.A. The court set a hearing for tomorrow. The governor saying he is not backing down.
California will keep fighting. We'll keep fighting on behalf of our people, all of our people, including in the courts. We sought an emergency court order to stop the use of the American military to engage in law enforcement activities across Los Angeles. If some of us could be snatched off the streets without a warrant, based only on suspicion or skin color, then none of us are safe.
Let's bring in Fox News
Nice
contributor
try,
Jonathan
Gavin.
Turley ahead of this hearing tomorrow. Jonathan, which way?
He knows damn well that he's lying.
Yeah, he does.
He knows
That
damn
is
well
so
he's lying.
farthest from the truth, man.
He knows damn well that what is going on there is going to ruin the city and cause it even more chaos and destruction. And unfortunately, that's what they want, because they get to sit on their high horses. The Gavin Newsoms, the Nancy Pelosi's, the LeBron Jameses who support things like this, the Steph Curry who backed Kamala Harris. These people live in California, but they live in the higher ups where they don't have to deal with nothing that goes on in the inner cities.
And don't forget about Eraserhead Adam Schiff, too. I mean, yeah, everybody forgets about it. He's from California, too, man. He makes me want to flip him upside down and erase the pencil off my wall.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's terrible. It just doesn't make any sense to how these people are still constantly voted in to office, and people can't see through what is really going on with them.
I don't think they care anymore, man. I think they just like to be lied to. You know what it is?
They're in a cult. They're in a cult.
They're in a cult, the cult of democratic personality, but also, man, they're so caught up with the lie at this point that I think they've gone beyond the ability to back out of it. It's like
they don't. They're not willing to admit that they were wrong. That's what it is.
No, because they're too arrogant and they're too full of themselves. And Joseph Goebbels, you know, that famous Nazi from 100 years ago, he once said, "Tell a big enough lie for long enough, and you'll win the hearts and minds of the people." Well, they won the hearts and minds of California. That's about as far as that's going to go, though.
Yep.
Way do you think this thing's going to go? For now, you know, the president has been vindicated. Is it going to change, or is it going to stay the same?
Well, Jillian, I think the important thing to remember is that the president's going to win at the end of the day because he has the authority and the resources to flood the zone with federal officers. He can do it in a number of ways, including the National Guard. He can even use the Insurrection Act, which is many of these California Democrats seem to be pushing him towards, which I don't understand. There seems to be a perfectly valid reason for calming the streets and getting security. You have a sheriff who said he was overwhelmed. You have National Guard that have been called out in other.
It's funny to me how the Democrats are so upset and pissed off that we actually have a president that's willing to do his job, that'll actually take law and order and make sure that it is held throughout the country. This is not necessary. And now we're getting words of riots, we'll just say protests because they haven't evolved in anything, of protests coming to Cleveland this weekend.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting to watch. You know, the CPD they're going to be waiting for him, man. Yeah. They're going to be just like it was in Chicago the other day. Chicago got met, the protesters in Chicago, they got met up by a bunch of people who actually live there. Yeah. And, that one didn't last very long. You know, she ain't hearing about it today, right? There was no day two.
Nope, no day two.
The people came out and told them to leave.
Yep.
States to make sure that these riots do not get out of control. Now, at issue with what's called Title 10 is that it starts with a statement that the president has full authority to do this. And then it says the governor shall issue that order. And what the Trump administration is arguing is, look, that's a mandatory requirement. We can federalize the National Guard and you are to cooperate. Newsom is saying, no, we both have to sign off on it. The court's going to have to decide. But this is going to happen. I mean, President Trump has made very clear that he is going to stabilize situation and flood the zone.
Yes, he is.
I think, John.
Isn't it funny that how if this were on the opposite foot, the Democrats would be going crazy right now. Like if Trump was for illegal immigration, the Democrats would be doing anything they could to fight against it.
You know, maybe he should come out and say that he's all about opening the borders. Yeah. So that way they all run down there and
close it really quick.
Yeah, start closing it really quick.
Dude, I feel like if Donald Trump was pro illegal immigration, the Democrats would put their lives on the line to stop it.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean,
They'd be down there hunting coyotes themselves.
That's right. Maxine Waters would be down there. I mean, she looks like she's got a coyote fur on her head, but that's besides the point. But Maxine Waters would be down there talking about how we have to close the border and build the wall.
Have you ever seen Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood?
Yeah, great movie.
She reminds me of one of the grandmas dancing in the church.
Yeah. Oh, I know who you're talking about. She was the same one in Friday too, right? And she was on Sanford and Son.
I think she was in Sanford and Son for sure.
Yeah, she was also in Friday. She's one of the three church ladies.
Oh yeah. They come to the door. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
She's
was
like,
great.
well, fuck you.
Jonathan, it also matters. There's a legal distinction in terms of what these troops, what these boots on the ground are being deployed in order to do, right? Because right now you have people saying that the legal basis for sending in the National Guard and even the Marines that are going to be there imminently is to protect federal property, right? But then you have people muddying on the waters on both sides who are talking about how these people are being deployed to, quote unquote, put out the protests or quell the protests.
The protests. I love that.
Yeah, that's simply not true.
I think that's what we need to just start doing from now on. Just put quotations around protest.
Yeah. You know,
the
peaceful protest.
The peaceful protest for the immigrants.
That's right. Never mind the fact that they jumped the border and swam across the Rio Grande to get here.
Never mind the fact that we got to house them, feed them, and give them every single thing under the sun, but we can't do that stuff for half the military vets in this country.
I know, and then they get the audacity to turn around and complain about it,
and then wave a Mexican flag in America and complain about being deported back to Mexico. It makes literally zero sense.
I mean, they make it sound like it's like, for God's sakes, it's Mexico. You know what I mean? Right. It's like they got the Yucatan. Go on vacation. Stop crossing the Rio Grande.
Yeah, seriously.
They're being used to guard largely two buildings. But also the rhetoric here, of course, is getting out of control. You had a Democratic member, I believe yesterday, who said, look, ICE has to simply retreat or these types of riots will continue. Well, that's not going to happen. It's not exactly a useful argument to say you have to stop enforcing federal immigration and then the riots will stop. It doesn't work that way. The federal government has a right to enforce federal immigration laws. They're going to do that. And the question is, will local officials cooperate, and also whether the governor will cooperate to try to stabilize this situation. But it's a non-starter for Democratic members to say retreat or else.
Do you think that the governor's lawsuit right now is sincere? Meaning, do you think he has any guidance from his advisors that he could prevail, or is it more of a political showdown, a show of strength, countering the president?
Well, in fairness to NEWSOM, there is an argument to be made here. It depends how you read Title 10. But, there's a lot of confusion about what happened before that. President Trump just supplied records that he did in fact call NEWSOM. NEWSOM made it very clear.
Wait,
NEWSOM. You're always calling him NEWSOM. You don't even want to call him by his name.
I'm like getting confused. Like, wait, what is going on? I learned that there's no E in it. Now he's calling him a different name. Have I been thinking this is a different guy the whole time?
Yeah.
Is he the real life Two-Face?
They dropped the E and added an H.
I guess.
On air that he was not going to approve the use of the National Guard. The government has a separate responsibility. They're not just pedestrians. They don't have to just stand there and watch as another riot occurs in Los Angeles. And this is hardly the first time that has happened. And so the question is when you act. And we saw in Minnesota with Governor Walz that he waited too long to issue.
Hey, Brian, real quick. I got Tampon Timmy. Yeah, that's my favorite right there. I love Tampon Timmy. Well, I love the beat on him anyway. But hey, I got a question for you, Bert. Is it just me, or does Gavin Newsom always look like his balls are constantly itching?
Oh my gosh,
doesn't he have that face that look like he's trying to hold back a fart and keep from scratching his nuts?
Them California crabs.
yeah, the Cali crabs. Oh my God, LA lobster.
He does live by the ocean. He does live by the ocean.
And another thing, how does he keep his hair so straight and shiny?
I don't know, but I have a question for you, Double D.
What's that?
How is it that 148 Democrats could vote against a bill to deport illegal immigrants who assault police officers? Answer that one.
Apparently, they think they're going to be voters in 2028.
I guess so. Do they really like? Here's my thing, right? Everything that the conspiracy theorists say end up coming true. So are we really conspiracy theorists, or do we just see the writings on the wall?
Well, you know what I say. When conspiracy theory has been proven to happen, it's now conspiracy fact.
Right, and it's just crazy that in New York, this man. What we're going to show you guys, because this whole story is just absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, is this the one with the plea deal?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's get to it. Roll the clip, Bird.
It's crazy, though. Like, think about this, Double D. How could 148 of them vote against it?
That is a good question, man. That is a good question.
Migrants are on ICE detainers, and they're set to be deported out of the U.S. John?
All right, Brian Yedis for us with the latest on that. Brian, thank you so much. According to a new report by the New York Post, 6 of the migrants that were charged in that infamous attack of New York City police officers are getting offered plea deals. The troubling news comes as one of the accused attackers was arrested again while out on bail. Our Brian Yedis is live in New York.
Arrested again while out on bail. Listen to that, you guys. Out on bail and arrested again. You're already an illegal immigrant. That's 3 strikes.
Now, if I was at the casino and they had, and the odds on that were probably pretty high that he was going back to jail. You know what I mean? If they were betting on that in Vegas,
oh man,
the odds were definitely in its favor for sure.
New York City is covering this.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Hey, John, well, look, we all remember the video from January, a group of migrants pulling, grabbing, and kicking 2 NYPD officers in Times Square after the officers asked the men to move. They resisted, and 7 migrants were ultimately charged with second-degree assault, a felony punishable by up to 7 years behind bars. Well, now the New York Post reports Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has offered plea deals. 3 migrants reportedly were offered to serve 1 year in jail. 2 others offered a deal to serve just 6 months in jail, and another offered a deal to serve 2 years if they all agree to plead guilty. 24-year-old migrant Johan.
Listen, if all of these people are not immediately deported, then they all need to do the 7 years and then get deported.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely astonishing. This goes to show that these liberal judges, these liberal DAs, they do not know anything about law and order. They do not belong there. Alvin Bragg is a DEI hire. He is not credible for the job.
I mean, he's having actually probably less than DEI because I didn't know Mr. Potato Head was allowed to be a lawyer.
Oh my gosh, dude! But
he looks like Mr. Potato Head.
He really does. He really does.
He looks like an oversized Mr. Potato Head. I mean, and if you look at his ears, they look like they're detachable. You just put them on, take them off, put them on, take them off. I mean, Daniel Penny, he wanted to put Daniel Penny in prison for 20 years.
But he wants to give
a woman.
But he wants to give these guys a year.
1 year, yeah, a year, and then a free pass. He's probably going to give them he's probably going to make sure they get an EBT card when they get out.
As the district attorney, how bad does that look to your officers that you're supposed to be helping?
Oh, he don't give a shit about the officers. All he cares about is that the liberals in New York, in the state of New York, will still give him their vote, because he's an elected position. So that's all he's hoping for. He's just hoping to get reelected. And he just figures by, how do I put this, appeasing the mob, he's going to get that. But here's where it changes, though, because the mob in New York, it's not like that anymore. That crazy whole, tear everything. No, dude, Eric Adams is becoming more popular than ever again. And because why? Because he's actually doing his job. That's why.
Henry Brito was offered a one-year plea deal. Brito was held behind bars on $15,000 bail, but was freed in February after an activist priest from Brooklyn reportedly posted his bail. Well, according to the Post, Brito was rearrested for apparently attempting to steal from Macy's. Despite this, a judge allowed Brito to walk free yesterday. This all comes as...
No, he's not trying to steal some bread. He's not trying to steal something to drink. He's trying to steal some designer clothes.
Absolutely. So he can sell them on the street corner in Chinatown.
Deport this scumbag to El Salvador and then let them deal with him and send him wherever he wants after that. This is ridiculous. I'm tired of this shit. At this point, we need to deport everyone.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it, dude. I'm losing my, how do I put this, my sensitive spot. Not that I really had one to begin with, anyway. But yes, I didn't really have one. But let's just say, hypothetically, there was some inch of sympathy and empathy left in me.
Yeah, it's gone.
Whatever was left, this guy made sure that it got tossed out the window.
Without a doubt.
And I wish they would toss him out a window with it.
As New York State Democrats effectively blocked a bill Tuesday that would have forced law enforcement to notify ICE when they arrest migrants, bypassing New York City's sanctuary laws. Republican Assembly member Jarrett Gandolfo introduced the bill after the assault on NYPD officers.
What is this, Harry Potter?
Times Square.
Shit.
The vote yesterday showed that the Assembly Democrats are more concerned with protecting the sanctuary state here in New York than they are in protecting legal New York residents. The fact is, they may spend a year in jail. Maybe it'll be less than that. But we need the federal government to step up and get these dangerous individuals out of our country.
As soon as they're done with his jail time, he's right.
Without a doubt.
I think his name is hilarious, but Gandolfo is right.
I mean, think about it, right? This shouldn't even be a conversation or anything that should be Democrat or Republican. This should literally be straight down the middle. If you come here illegally, you should be deported regardless. But if you come here illegally and commit crime after crime, you definitely need to be deported. How anybody else could see any other way about that? It's mind blowing. It's literally mind blowing.
We are the only country in the Western Hemisphere that allows all these illegals to flood the border and come across, and then the peaceful protesters complain about it. It's like, you know what? Why don't we get 1 million people and rush the gate at the Rio Grande and run into Mexico so we can all go gambling in Tijuana without a passport? Let's see how the Mexican police would handle that. Let's see how the federales would like us swamping their fucking border for once. They wouldn't. They would lose their freaking minds, dude. And it would be and Shine Bomb, their president, she would be losing it.
Right.
She would be losing it.
So
the socialist Shine Bomb.
So
yeah.
You want to know something crazy, right? We all knew that this was happening, right? This just has George Soros written all over it. So now, Senators Josh Hawley is launching an investigation in a Democratic organization over potential support for the LA riots. We all know that these people do nothing but support this evilness, all this ridiculousness.
I saw here before you start that. I saw a thing on X this morning, and it was an excerpt that I was watching. And the guy was telling everybody that he gets $200 a day to go. He don't even know what he's actually rioting about half the time. He just said he needed the money.
Really?
Yeah. It was on X this morning or yesterday. He probably posted it yesterday, but I watched it this morning.
Oh yeah, dude! I seen some crazy stuff. I was watching Liberal Hive Mind earlier. He just did a video where some dude ran up to these people that were getting out of a van, and they were a bunch of protesters in Washington, and they all had like ready-made signs and everything. Like everything was professionally done. Like who is funding all of this, dude? Who is really funding this? We know who.
The communists, the Democrats, and of course George Soros. It goes without saying.
Yep.
Who's supporting some of these rioters? Senior national correspondent William LaJeunesse is in Los Angeles with that aspect of the story. And look, William, if people just thought, oh, maybe that's imagination, there's video. There are receipts for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the money's got to come from somewhere, right? I mean, sure, it's hard to turn out several thousand people on any given night. And so you're going to have the water, the riot gear, the coordination to get out all these demonstrators. You have criminals, you have professional agitators, and activists who support a variety of left-wing issues, and they'll take any opportunity to bash the administration. So one group behind the demonstrations is CHIRLA, Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. The IRS document shows $34 million in government grants, including $3 million from President Biden's DHS for
Of course.
Dude,
of course.
$34 million. Imagine what you could have done with that $34 million just to make the country a little bit better. You could have literally donated to the VAs, done all kinds of stuff that could have did something for the betterment of the country. Instead, you want to give it to these scumbags for no reason in order to cause chaos and destruction. What? So you got the government funding people to protest against the government, and you guys don't think that there's anything that they're getting out of this? You're smoking crack with Maxine Waters.
Yeah, no shit. That's what it is. She's a crackhead. She looks like a crackhead.
If she's not a crackhead, she's crackish.
Crackish, yeah. She's a little crackish. I want to know how many beavers they had to kill to make that wig.
150 grand. President Trump.
$34 million worth of beavers.
$34 million worth of beaver fur.
It also gets state and city grant money for lawyers to fight deportations. CHIRLA spends $10 million a year on salaries, including $200,000 for the director, Angelica Salas.
We are asking that everybody that got arrested today be released.
That's right.
We want them in their houses with their families, with their children.
Bitch looks
oh my God, she's an ugly bitch.
Bitch looks like Bowser.
Bowser's better looking.
CHIRLA also founded the Rapid Response Network. That's the hotline immigrants use to report ICE raids. It will then text these alerts so immigrants can go hide and activists can stop ICE operations.
And so I was in a room yesterday morning, meeting with the immigrant rights organizations, and all of a sudden everybody's cell phones started blowing up. That's when we all heard about a raid that was taking place in Whittier.
So you're
hold on a minute. You're telling me that the mayor of Los Angeles didn't hear about a riot going on in her own city until she got a text message? How is she not up to date on these things right away? These are things that the mayor of your city should know before anybody else. This is ridiculous.
I think she's full of shit.
She's full of shit. She is full of shit. 1,000% full of shit. Dude, she knew. She knew what was going on.
Yeah.
She probably knew what was going on a week before. You know why?
Absolutely.
Because the Democratic Party's fucking funding it. That's why.
Exactly. Dude, whatever it takes for them to bring down Trump, but we got news for them. The American people are behind Donald Trump, and the Democratic Party is whittling around 26% approval rating, and I guarantee it another 3 months by the end of summer after their next summer of love. It's I gotta stop with the quotes.
No,
but you get the idea. When the summer of love of 25 is over, their approval rating is gonna be somewhere around 6 or 7%.
Yeah,
who knows? There might be the worst approval rating since the end of the Civil War for these clowns.
You might be right.
Is SEIU. You see the purple there? They have 700,000 members. The union turns out big numbers. Others are simply there to bash capitalism.
Because they're a bunch of freaking communists.
The working class is the one that builds.
How can Bowser bash capitalism when he literally makes money off his likeness?
Yeah, I know.
I don't get it.
This country, yet it's the billionaires in power that continue to harass us and attack us and take absolutely everything from us.
Operation Healthy Hearts, according to the New York Post, handed out face shields and riot gear.
They're not taking nothing from her. She just all these people want to do is just bitch and complain for no reason. That's all it is.
They think it's buying them votes and support, but what they don't realize is they're pushing people further away. The Democratic Party, they're going to get their one-party system like they've been wanting for the last 35 years. They want a one-party rule, but they're about to get the opposite party in the one-party rule. And the more they keep pushing America to the red pill, the more America is going to take that red pill, and they're going to be all voting Republican in 26. I think this is, you know what? These Democrats are the best PR for the Republican Party. The Republican Party couldn't create this kind of PR themselves, dude. The Democratic Party is the best spokesman for the Republicans I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not sure if this is true, but my buddy just said that Israel attacked Iran.
Yeah, they did.
Wow. Well,
yeah, they did. I saw that earlier. Yeah, Israel is definitely attacking Iran today.
That's crazy. So, back to what we were talking about, let's hope and pray that this wars can just be done with, because war leads to nothing but destruction.
Absolutely. Is this the letter that Hawley wrote to Churla?
This is the letter that Senator Hawley wrote to, what is it, Angelica Salas?
Oh, is that who it is? Angelica Salas or whatever?
Whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Basically,
it's to Churla. Churla. He wrote it to Churla, the Coalition for...
Yeah, but the lady,
immigration
rights. The lady's name is Angelica Salas. So he writes, "Dear Miss Salas, I write in my capacity as chair of the Senate Subcommittee on Crime and Counterterrorism regarding your organization's alleged role in financing and materially supporting the coordinated protests and riots that engulfed Los Angeles in recent weeks. While peaceful protest is a cornerstone of American democracy, these demonstrations have escalated into lawless mob action, and this is very true. They have obstructed federal law enforcement, endangered public safety, and disrupted the rule of law. This lawlessness is unacceptable. It must end."
I agree.
I do too. Credible reporting now suggests that your organization has provided logistical support and financial resources to individuals engaged in these disruptive actions. Let me be clear. Bankrolling civil unrest is not protected speech. It is aiding and abetting criminal conduct. Accordingly, you must immediately cease and desist any further involvement in the organization, funding, or promotion of these unlawful activities. And then it lists, all the activities that happen. Exactly. I 1000% agree with Josh Hawley on this. I'm so glad that we have somebody to finally say something like this.
Josh Hawley's not afraid to stand up, dude. That's what I love about the guy. I know a lot of people think he can be kind of a dick, and he can be kind of a dick. Right. But you know what? That's what we need right now. We need somebody. I mean, he could come across as a little abrasive, and you know what? I love that about him, dude. I want Josh Hawley to get more abrasive. I want Josh Hawley to get angry. As a matter of fact, I want to get angry with Josh Hawley. Let's get angry with Josh Hawley.
Roar! So we have now a family member of a Marine who was shot by an illegal immigrant slamming open borders. Rightfully so.
Absolutely.
I never understood why anybody just wanted open borders. It's not allowed in any other country. Most countries have way harsher punishments than we do.
Well, here's what's going on over in Europe, dude. This is what's going on in Europe, too. You've got half of Europe right now that wants open borders so they can flood their populations with everybody but the country's people that were there to begin with. And then you've got other countries like Poland and Russia. And it's true. They don't want They're not tolerating that. They're not letting people flood the border. Poland's not allowing that.
No, for sure.
Some of the Yugoslavian states are like, nope, I don't think so.
Right.
So you've got like half the countries over there opening their borders without any vetting whatsoever, and the other half that are like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do what you got to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if the EU breaks up completely by 2026.
I wouldn't either at all.
And with all that breaking up, I wouldn't be surprised if Russia actually goes in there and takes what they want. Because who's going to defend it?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
They want the same thing to happen here, but we're going to defend our homeland.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
America, the one thing about Americans is we love freedom. And even more than freedom, we love guns.
Yep.
Tragic story. Jimmy Friesenhahn, father of a 5-month-old girl and a 14-year Marine Corps veteran, fighting for his life now after he was allegedly shot by an illegal alien who's a multiple criminal offender. Joining us now are Jimmy's sister, Becky Borjan, and his brother-in-law, Emmanuel Martinez. Folks, thanks for being with us at this difficult time. Really appreciate it. I just want to take a moment to set up the backstory here so folks at home know what we're talking about. This happened back on May the 4th. Jimmy was working security at the El Patio Sports Bar in San Antonio, Texas. He was at the door. He saw a gun in the pocket of a guy who was trying to enter the bar. He tried to confiscate the gun. A struggle ensued. Jimmy was shot 3 times, twice in the bulletproof vest and once right through the neck, which is now left him paralyzed and unable to speak. Now we find out that the alleged gunman, Wilmer Ortega Ruiz, was in the country illegally, had been arrested 4 times, and every time released from jail.
Man, my heart breaks every time I hear about one of our soldiers being assaulted or being wounded or being hurt, in this case paralyzed, by somebody who doesn't even fucking belong here.
This is ridiculous. That's why I'm saying get rid of all of them.
Dude, I'm angry, man. Get angry with me, America. I'm serious. It's time to get angry with me. Josh Hawley, I'm going to get angry with you, brother, and America's going to get angry with us. This is enough. Enough's
Becky,
enough.
your
We're done
thoughts
with
about
that. We're
all
done.
of this?
I think it's a great tragedy and a failure of our justice system.
Rightfully so.
People who represent and allowed for our open borders. Our last administration allowed those open borders, really soft on those criminals. And I think it's just unfair and unjust to the citizens of America who are here legally. The immigrants who come legally, there is no intent to cause harm or crimes. These illegal immigrants that repeatedly get released over and over, I don't understand that at all.
So here's the arrest record
that
of this
at all
fellow.
either. It makes no sense, man. This is crazy. This is crazy.
It's one of the most illogical things in the world to me. To think
I didn't even know about that, Bird. I'm just learning about this right now as we're watching it.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. That's just sad and pathetic.
I mean, that just really makes me pissed off, man. It really makes me angry.
Yeah,
it really does.
I don't get it. Then here's a crazy thing to me, right? Why is it that just because somebody's black that they have to support somebody non-white? I don't understand that. Where these people got that like sense of entitlement.
Good afternoon.
And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's a lot of things going around right now where like the Hispanic men, like the Mexicans are trying to call out black people to support them in the LA riots. And it's illogical. It's like you're not a group, you're your own individual person.
Right. And here's the most important thing that they keep forgetting. Black Americans are exactly that. They are Black Americans. And a lot of those Black Americans were in the service. They were in the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, and the Navy. So why would they want to support a bunch of frickin' rioters? A bunch of people who don't even belong here. They're rioting for people who don't belong here. I could see if something like, if this was the Rodney King situation, I get it. The George Floyd situation, I get it. That dude sat on his neck for 9 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand why they got upset. I mean, I didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with the way it was handled, but I understand.
I don't know.
I
a lot of the
no
stuff.
Empathy. I have no empathy for this situation. I have no empathy for these guys right now.
A lot of the stuff with George Floyd, I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. I don't. Just because they say that he died from the fentanyl overdose and the autopsies and shit like that.
The bottom line is I personally believe that Derek Chauvin should have took his knee off the back of his neck.
Yeah.
Maybe he wouldn't have died. Maybe he would have died. I don't know. We'll never know.
In all honesty, because I watched the whole thing, when he was yelling in the back of the cop car, "I can't breathe," I would have just slapped a muzzle on him and told him to shut up.
Exactly. I mean, there was better ways to handle the situation, that's for sure. But with that said, I still understand why a whole community, I understand why the black community was upset. I get it. But what I don't understand is how people can expect us to support them for coming across our border illegally, raping women, killing our children.
It's illogical. It's illogical.
I'm not. They want me to feel sorry for the murderers now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's one thing to feel sorry for the murdered.
Right.
But I'm not feeling sorry for the murderers. They can kiss my ass.
Exactly.
Good afternoon, guys. The reason I'm doing this video is because I just got to put my 2 cents in real quick. I've been seeing a lot of beautiful black people make a lot of videos talking about, about the protest that's going on in LA. And there's a lot of content creators that are black talking about, let's not help them, let's mind our own business. It's none of our business, let them do their thing. It's their turn, it's their time, and it just goes to show me that there's a lot of black people that don't know their history. In 1829, a lot of black people migrated to Mexico because of enslavement. When you all were enslaved, right? When you guys were slaved, a lot of you guys ran to Mexico and sought help. And guess what we did? We helped.
Okay, so what about the white people who freed the slaves in the United States? Can we go off the same subject as that? Can we go off the same premise as what he's going off of? Because we had people that literally we had white people that literally died and risked their lives to free slaves.
180,000 men total on both sides, by the way.
Right. So can we go off the same premise as what he's saying?
Because I didn't see 180,000 Mexicans give up their lives to stop slavery.
Yeah, seriously.
And just for the record, South American slavery didn't even end. I mean, and I'm not talking about Mexico. I'm talking about South America now. But slavery in South America didn't even end until 1895.
Right.
So they carried that shit on for 30 years past. So you know what? This guy's talking he's talking out both sides of his neck.
Yeah.
If he wants to talk about history, he might want to take a better history lesson and maybe learn a little bit about it. Okay, so what? In 1829, black folks went to Mexico to run from slavery. Yeah, they did. That did happen. He's telling the truth about that. Well, to an extent anyway. But in reality, the Latin American countries overall, they weren't ready to give up slavery one damn bit. So he can keep talking all that shit he wants, but he's full of it.
Yep.
The slavery that said, no human being should be a slave, right? Even more black people migrated to Mexico. So we helped y'all. We gave you the hand when y'all needed it. You see what I'm saying? So, let's know our history before we open up our mouth. And let's not forget that we all bleed red, right? And y'all never know when you're going to need us, just the way we will never know when we need you. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, if you want to stay in your lane, that's fine. That's fine. All right? But don't go saying that we were never there for you, because Mexico was there for you. Well,
196 years ago, they let 5,000 black slaves into Mexico. Bravo. Give yourself a hand. Here, don't break your arm patting yourself on the back, cheeseball. Screw this guy. Look at that. Look at that shit eating. Look at that smile on his face. I want to knock those teeth right out of his mouth.
I'm going to say
I want
this.
to knock his teeth right down his throat.
I'm going to say this.
Lying son of a bitch.
I'm glad we have Mexican Americans like this guy.
Straight. Just so I could clarify it.
Now this guy
you don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico. but you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride.
Yes.
You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave. But yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride.
Right.
Okay. That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you. Yep. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
I agree.
He's absolutely right.
So let me get this
straight.
straight.
Absolutely right.
I 1000% agree with him that they are a disgrace, because how do you come to a country and wave the another country's flag, but yet you don't want to go back there?
And not only that, you know, when to think about that guy, I'm telling you, he doesn't sound like he was born here, which tells me that he went through the process to become a legal citizen. He probably learned everything he needed to learn. He probably took the classes like every other race of people that come from around the world to be here. So, you know, yes, that guy he's spot on, bro. Spot on. I mean, honestly, I couldn't say it better than he just did, so I'm not even going to try. But I absolutely agree with him.
Like, look at these people, right? Look at these people.
I put my dick on your plate, nigga. You gotta
listen to how vile these people talk to cops in a country that they're not even from. They're not here legally, and they think that they can just do what they want.
Go down to Mexico and tell the federale you're going to put a dick on the plate for them. Let's see how they treat you.
Listen to this.
They'll take your wallet, they'll take your car, and they'll probably whack your ass and leave you somewhere in the desert.
Like, listen to this.
Carver, nigga. You go to Carver, nigga. I'm fake, nigga. I know you do, dog. I'll spit on your plate. I put my dick on your plate, nigga. Fuck your family. Fuck your kids, nigga. That's how it is. I can't sleep comfortably because of you.
He be fucking getting a whole fucking plate. He be fucking expecting us to give us a whole fucking shit. That nigga right there.
Do you go to Carver?
It's fucking mom. Yeah, you do, nigga. Stop playing. Yeah, you do. Nigga, act like I don't know your fucking face. Stop fucking playing. Fucking talking about, can I get a fucking discount? Can I get a fucking this? Can I get a fucking that? That nigga right there. Point that shit at him right there. Point that.
These people are extremely ignorant, and I don't even care if they're here legally. I'd deport them anyway.
Hell yeah, I'm never eating at a Mexican restaurant again for the rest of my life because I am not supporting these people anymore. Not doing it.
Shit out there right there.
I'll eat a fucking Chipotle instead.
Yeah, it's
I'll go to Chipotle or Taco Bell, but I hate both of those places, but I'd rather eat at Chipotle. I'm never supporting another Mexican restaurant ever again.
I don't blame you.
That's not going to happen.
You're going to no shit. Hell no. Hell no.
We ain't going to that, Carver.
What's your favorite thing to order at Carver?
Everything.
You go to
What a jack off.
What a bunch of vile, despicable human beings. Like, look at this. In LA right here, these people are making fridge barricades to hurl rocks at the police. Look at this. This is crazy.
Been over 6 hours for this stream, not counting the other stream we did earlier. We've been
I wonder where they stole the refrigerator from.
Right before you
Probably
left.
that
JCPenney.
Probably that truck right there.
Or Best Buys. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably from the truck.
What do they think the umbrellas are going to do?
Dude, that was like the Antifa guys wearing the Batman hats. Did you see that?
No. Oh, yeah,
literally
I did.
had the bat ears on it, and they were wearing plastic, like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever. When you go, not Dungeons and Dragons, but when they go paintballing, they're wearing paintballing.
I know what you're talking about.
And carrying unloaded AR-15s like that was going to help him.
Crazy.
I'll take that AR-15 out of his hand and beat him with it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Unbelievable fucking cowards.
How did they burn a shopping cart? Is that what that is?
Looks like one of those carts for crippled people, you know, where they push them along.
Oh, yeah.
And there's an umbrella burned behind it.
Yeah, I see it.
That's an umbrella. They burned their umbrella.
Dude, kick these people out just for being idiots.
Can you say I'm an ignorant dumbass? I mean, what the... What? You got to be shitting me. This is... Oh, my God.
It's crazy.
I don't have the fucking words for this, man. I don't even know what to say to these clowns, man.
I don't either,
You know
dude.
what? I'm going to quote Forrest Gump. Stupid is as stupid does.
I like it. All right, so... we could just talk about this. Elon Musk decided to actually, I respect him for it. It takes a man to admit when you were wrong and to admit like, hey, I shouldn't have said this, or I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have done that. It takes a real man. And he actually said that, hey, I said some things about Trump I shouldn't have said, and I regret it. I'm sorry. That I respect that. I can respect that out of Elon.
So do you think Trump is the one that gave him the black eye?
No, I think
I'm kidding. I meant that as a joke.
I don't know though. Because they said he got in like a physical altercation with somebody in the office.
Yeah, he probably got into a physical altercation with the wrong person because they shined his eye for him. But hey, you know what? He took his shiner.
Yeah.
He didn't bitch about it. He didn't complain. He didn't whine about it. So you know what?
Right.
All respect, man. He took his ass kicking and moved on.
So hey, all's well be well. That's the way I look at it. I don't want to talk too much about it. I appreciate everything Elon did for us to help get Trump elected.
And I still love Elon. I still love the guy.
I was always a little bit, skeptical of him politically, and I just don't think he belongs in politics the way he was. Just make your money.
I do love his Doge, though.
Yeah, I like what he. like I said, I like what he did to help get Trump elected. He gave him a huge platform on X. He did a lot of X town halls with Trump. We were blessed to have him help us.
And our gratitude to him is still well-deserved for him, even though he did flake out for a short period of time. That's okay. We forgive you, Elon.
That's all right. All's well.
You're still on the American Trump train, brother. We're not throwing you off midway.
No, yeah, for sure. We're still rocking with you. But I think we're good on that note for tonight, right, Double D?
I would think so, yeah. I think we covered it all. I mean, like I said... the rioters, there's not left much to really, I don't have the words to say or explain it at this point because I think it all speaks for itself, but it's definitely just a damn shame. Just a damn shame.
It really is a shame, but you know what's not a shame? That you guys were able to come here and hang out with us. So we really appreciate you guys stopping by. I want to thank my family, thank Double D, thank God, because without him, none of this is possible. And most importantly, thank you guys.
And as always, Bird, thank you for joining me in this podcast. Thank our audience for sticking around to the end. And as always, and most importantly, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And with that, good night, y'all.
All right, everybody, have a great one. Peace.